very disappointing for us. But if you do and you're playing against talented players, then that's what you're going to see. So we were late to everything. Again, credit to them. We were on our heels on the defense end the whole night, and that's a problem that we'll fix. We'll get better at. Yep. Well, I thought Cam gave us a little length and a little mobility, and his ability to kind of just have a little bit of gravity on the floor is important for us. And you know, as we try and, you know, we're blessed with a really special roster, a great group of guys, and there's going to be a learning curve with the pieces about trying to figure out when and how and where to put them together. But I thought he helped us tonight.
Mark, obviously a tough night for a couple guys, but Otega Owe, -16, the plus-minus. What did they do to really take away, you know, potentially the SEC Player of the Year?
Well, I thought they were physical with him. I thought they brought a crowd. They did everything we didn't do. They were really good at bringing a crowd and you know, making them play through multiple defenders. And we were really sticky with the ball. You know, the 20-6 compared to the 14-4 tells really the whole story of the game. There's a lot of facets of the game where it got to that, but we're going to lose a 26-14 game. We're just going to lose it. And it's a credit to Louisville for playing the game the right way, and it's you know, we got punished for not playing it the right way. You know, pop rule, simple play, playing off 2 feet, you know, making all the B cuts, all those things really important. We were poor at them.
Going back to the defensive principles, just what didn't click there, and then only the 6 turnovers, took 17 minutes to get 1.
Yep.
How much does that limit you guys, especially trying to get out in transition?
Yeah, we're not. Our defense is not designed to be a high octane turnover defense. It's just not. It's not the space we live in right now. But you know, it was like I said, it was for me it was the progression. It was the pressure in transition where I thought we were very poor, and then us getting out of transition back into our shell principles was just incredibly poor. We had a terrible outing against Georgetown, and we kind of came back and made real progress. And you know, leading up to this game, you know, I think we all knew that we were facing an issue that we hadn't found good resolution to in practice, and it showed on the court tonight for sure. It was a lot of stress for us tonight, and we did not respond to it well. Thanks, guys.
This is testing the red one again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it had somebody in here had something then, because I literally touched nothing. Here comes coach. Test your mic again.
1, 2, 3. Test. 1, 2, 3.
Test that question, Mike.
Testing.
1, 2, 3,
testing.
4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 1, 2.
One, two, three. Test. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It don't matter. I'll sit.
All right. If everybody's ready, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions for Michael Brown Jr. and Ryan Cardnials. We've got microphones around the room. You raise your hand for those and state your name and your outlet before asking your question, and turn on your microphone before you say. Brooks, we'll start with you.
Yeah, hey Michael, Brooks Holden with the Courier-Journal. You guys, it took you until the 3-minute mark of the first half to commit a turnover. You will finish with only 6 tonight. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, what was really clicking for you all, just in terms of passing the ball around, getting movement, and just not being just not coming up with those mistakes.
Honestly, it started with the defensive end, getting stops early, holding them to one shot, boxing them out, and getting in transition and just getting easy buckets. I think that's where we're at our best when we play in the open court. We don't have to play in the half court all the time. We play fast, clapbacks when they score. Even when they score, we're trying to get it on and, get easy buckets in transition. So I think that's what's the separator.
CL Brown, Courier-Journal. Do you guys remember the first time, whether it's practice, pickup in the summer, that you actually played together? And when do you feel like the continuity set in for you two as a backcourt?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I want to give all glory to God just to be in this position, and play with just such a great group of guys. But, I mean, I remember just first playing with Kel just over the summer, probably back at the end of May, just in open gym. And, I mean, he's just different. He's just a different type of guy, different type of player. He's just a different type of person, and I just love just to play alongside him. And I think just, as the year went on and, just months of working together, we kind of learned one another's games and learn how to play off of each other. And, we just got to keep on working, keep on learning. So.
Steve Bittenbender, Associated Press. Mikal, obviously you came in with a lot of hype surrounding you being one of the highest recruited freshmen in the country. To come in and have a game like this, just I think 3 points off the freshman scoring record, against the your school's biggest rival. Is this kind of what you expected from yourself when you committed to the Cardinals, or do you kind of see yourself being able to even top this as the season goes on?
Man, I really don't look into my stat line. The biggest thing for me is coming out with the win. And that's whatever I got to do to get that win, I'm going to do it. So I think tonight, they encouraged me to just keep going and keep being aggressive and keep making plays, and that's what I did tonight, and I think that was a separator for us.
This is for both of you guys. Just if you can just talk about the offensive game plan tonight. It seemed like you guys' passing was on point. You guys seem like you're getting more comfortable playing as a unit, and we're pretty much able to get good looks almost every time down the court. What was kind of the focus tonight attacking that UK defense?
I would say our offense just started on defense, just getting stops and getting out of transition. That's what we stress, in practice and different things like that. And, that's how we love to play, just very fast pace and getting out of transition and getting stops on defensive end. And I think that's what we did well tonight and, helped us on the offensive end. So.
And I'm also, shout out our bigs, Sananda, Ali, Vaughn was in there. I don't want to consider Vaughn a big, but, the people that, do the dirty work inside and the interior, they played hard today. They helped us out with boxing out. We came in and cleaned it up and got out in transition, and, they played they butt off. So I think that was another separator for us. I want to give them props as well.
Yeah.
Shungart, WDRB. Michael, what statement did you make today, dropping 29 against Kentucky as a true freshman?
What statement did I make? I mean, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I trust my work. and I know how much work I put in to get to this point. There's been a lot of hours put into the gym, the unseen hours, they come onto the court, and I think it's just expected of me. That's the expectation I set myself to. And without the help of my teammates, I don't think it's possible. So they definitely encouraged me to be myself.
Brandon Raboyne, WHAS 11. Donovan Mitchell was sitting courtside, and I noticed in the final minutes, like, he was telling you guys, calm down. He was dapping you guys up. What does it mean to just have him courtside and kind of have him there for those final minutes?
It means everything. He supports us so much on and off the floor. He cares for us. He's always talking to us, coming to our practices, and just having him just on the sideline there, it's just nothing but a blessing. We're just super thankful for his support and just everything he brings just to the program. So.
Yeah, he's been in our shoes before, so, down the stretch, they going to make a run. That's just the game of basketball. It's a game of runs. He just kept telling us, stay composed, stay calm, weather the storm, and get the job done. Excuse me.
Knowlton Alfred, the Louisville Cardinal. U of L hasn't beaten Kentucky at home since 2022. What does this mean as a win for you as a player and the team as a whole?
I would say, it means a lot. Shout out to just all the fans, just everyone that supports us day in and day out, through the highs and through the lows. It means a lot to them, and we just knew we had to get the job done, and so, yeah.
Yeah, we knew how important this game was, especially for our fan base. We walk down the street, go to class, and they telling us, man, beat UK. Like, beat UK, that's all we care about, and, to be able to get the job done for them meant a lot to us.
Eric Crawford, WDRB in Louisville. What was Coach Kelsey's message after the game, and what was he like in the locker room?
My bad.
Man, very energetic for sure. I would just say PK is just not only just a great coach, but just a great person. Man, he's always with us, always has our back, and just the love he shows us on a day-to-day basis, and just through the highs and through the lows, we're just so thankful for it. So just to see him, smiling and happy, just put a smile on all our faces, and we're glad we got the job done, and we just got more work to do. So.
Yeah, he told us just enjoy the process, trust the process, every single day. Hold on. Excuse me.
Good, brother.
I'm straight. Golly. Yeah, he just tells us, trust the process, and just be us. It wasn't really about them. It was just, we know how much work we put in since we stepped foot on this campus, and, it was just all about us, this game, and I think that's how we played, and we played together, and, we got the job done.
Hey, you guys talked about, that game against Kansas and kind of starting slow and, not playing to your pace at times. I'm just wondering just how crucial it was to get off to a good start tonight and to be able to get the fans, back behind you, and versus and just how important it was, to have that experience of the Kansas game so early to kind of get you ready for something like this.
Yeah, I would say, we learned something from every single game, every exhibition, and every game that we played up to this point. We've learned something, and we know that we just had to set the tone early just in this game, and we knew that getting the crowd into it would be to our favor. So. That's what we looked to do, and that's what we did.
Yeah, I think that game was needed just because, we didn't play to our standard that game. Obviously it was the first game, so very hyped for it. And over time, we just, went back to the drawing board and continued to, get better as a team and come together as a team. And I think that really helped us, and we've been through the fire already, so I think that's what helped us, come out with a punch and with a bang, from the first possession from the tip, so.
Cole Park with the Cats Pulse 247 for either of you. There was a lot of hype heading into the season for Otega Owe, potential SEC Player of the Year. You guys held him to a team low -16 in plus-minus. What was the game plan in kind of taking care of him, and what worked so well against him?
He's definitely just a great player, and we knew that, in order to win the game, we had to contain him for sure. But, coming to the game, we just knew like Kel said, it would just be us. No matter who we playing against, we're going to, play physical on defense and push the pace offensively. So That's what we plan to do tonight. And that's what we did. So.
Yeah, it wasn't just him. He's a great player, but it was almost everybody. Colin Chandler played really well for them. The bigs, played really well for them. Jalen Lowe played really well for them. It wasn't just him, but he definitely was, priority, just to, neutralize him in a sense. And I think that we executed that really well today.
And there's that picture of you outside the Center at like 8 or 9 years old. What would 8-year-old Ryan Conwell think of dropping 24 against Kentucky tonight? And more importantly, what would your grandpa think, who used to bring you here as a kid?
Man,
Me.
Man, just my 8-year-old self just thought, just being in this position was something, out of reach. It's a dream. And just to be in this position, all I can do is just thank God. I'm just so blessed. Just my journey, just everything that I've been through, and to be able to perform at a high level just in a big game is just a blessing. And I don't want to talk about my grandpa too much. It's going to make me emotional, but I just know he's looking down on me, just smiling. Man, yeah, it means a lot for sure.
Rashawn Myers, 96.1 FM. For both of you guys, there was a lot of talk about UK and their physicality and their inside game, and that being something that was going to be big in this game, especially coming off the Kansas game. Was that physical aspect and wanting to be the aggressor, was that a key point of emphasis for you guys coming into the game tonight?
Yeah. It was big for us. Watching the film, they're a very physical team. They switch a lot just because they have a lot of guys that are versatile. I think the biggest thing was just, we had to be us. As Coach said, come into this game. If we be ourselves, we'll be fine. And I think we executed that really well today. So.
For both players, Dusty Baker, Wave Sports, there was a lot of talk about how early in the season this game was. Now that you have this victory under your belt, how helpful is it to have a huge, significant victory like this early in the year to give you momentum moving forward?
It's definitely, good momentum for us going forward. Like PK always talks about, the most important thing is the next thing. We can definitely celebrate this win, and, we're all happy we got the job done, but we also have to keep it moving. The season's not over, and we have more games to play, so we have to continue to prepare each and every single day and listen to what the coaches are telling us, and, continue to trust one another, and we'll be good.
Yeah, I think, it was great, to get this win just to build confidence in a sense. But it's on to the next one, We're going to enjoy it tonight, probably, go tomorrow. We have that day off, but I'm sure everybody, is going to get what they need to get done. And then Thursday is the most important day just because this is the next practice for us, and we're going to get prepared for this next game on Saturday. So,
piggybacking off that question, what, if anything, did you guys kind of prove to yourself tonight in playing a comparable kind of talented team and being challenged in that way?
I would say that we're just a hard playing together team. Just in the game, there was ups and there was downs. And, adversity came, and, we stuck together and we didn't fold. And I think, in order for us to, have great success down the road, we have to continue to, build on that. And I think that that's something where we did in the game, and I'm proud of us for doing that. So
yeah.
And Mikhail, my first question kind of got cut off before you could answer. I just wanted to know when you felt like you kind of knew Ryan's game and you felt like y'all clicked.
I think, that first pickup game, guarding him, he's experienced and he's been through the fire already within this collegiate level. And to be able to, play alongside him, I try to learn his game every single day, learn where his spots are, learn where he likes the ball. In transition, he's one of my guys that I look for just because he's very dangerous in transition and he gets downhill, plays off his jumper a lot just because he's 40+% shooter. So to be able, to play alongside a player like him, definitely not going to take it for granted. So.
That means a lot, bro.
All right, thank you all.
Wait, one more thing. I just want to give a shout out to, you know, all our managers, the staff behind the scenes. You know, me and Kel are up here in the forefront, you know, because of, you know, of how we played today. But, you know, we couldn't have got it done without, you know, all our coaches, the staff, the managers, just everybody part of 25 Strong. And, you know, we love them and we appreciate them. So I want to give them a shout out for sure.
For sure.
You too, DB. You too, DB.
All right, we'll get Coach Kelsey in here to see how gets the first question since I cut him off.
I want to commend Coach Pope and his team and the program he's building there. I firmly believe that his team is a national title contender, and I believe that to be the case for our team as well. It was a big-time college atmosphere, two really good teams competing at a very high level. You know, it was just genuine competition. There wasn't any extracurricular stuff. It was just good old-fashioned loose balls, hard screens, and dudes playing their butts off. So it's a great rivalry. It's one of the greatest rivalries in all of collegiate sports. And this was another edition of that. The Center was rocking. I think it was a huge factor in the game. Somebody told me it was like 170 short of the biggest crowd in the history of the arena. That's what Bob told me. I don't know if that's true or not. Bob gave me bad data. Okay. If Bob says that, it's true. So don't take my word for it for sure. I just know one thing. It was rocking. We got off to a good start, which got the crowd in the game. And there were a couple yum roars that I'll remember for a long, long time.
We'll go to questions. CL is the first one.
Pat, certainly you weren't responsible for past 15 or so years in this rivalry, but it seemed like Louisville had a tendency to kind of play tight in this game. What do you feel like was the key for you tonight to come out free and confident? It seemed like there was never a seed of doubt among your players.
Man, I think the key to that is removing yourself and removing your team from results. It's what we try to do all the time. You know, fans are supposed to do that. Media is supposed to do that. You want to talk about outcomes all the time. It's boring coach speak, but it's just being present in the preparation, being present in the atmosphere, being present in each possession, in each 4-minute segment of the game. And just understanding when that ball goes up, it's just a basketball game. So we harp on that every day. It's not something that, hey, when we get to a big moment in a big game, we're going to change our approach. That's what we do all the time. You know, playing with joy, playing with confidence, playing with passion. And those guys work so hard, and that's what we say, that we focus on excellence in the process all the time so that when the moment's big and the lights are the brightest, you don't have to rise to the occasion. You just revert to your training. That's the foundational belief and philosophy in our approach to everything we do.
Pat, you had your team had games like this last year against SMU and Florida State where you're able to put 90 points or more on the board and only have like 6 or 7 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight against the opponent in the environment, is this one of the best games you've had as a coach, given everything that was at stake tonight?
Yeah, this is one of those rare games where I haven't even peeked at the stat sheet. There was absolute zoo and chaos going on in there for about the last 45 minutes or so. So Bob mentioned it on the radio interview. Yeah, I mean, in a setting like this, in a game like this, with the stakes that high against a defensive team that's one of the best in the country, to only have 6 turnovers under those circumstances and the magnitude of this game was a big key.
Pat, sorry to come at you with another stat sheet question after that, but when we spoke to Mark Pope, he said he felt one of the real keys to this game was Louisville's 20 assists to Kentucky's just 14 assists. Certainly some of that is how they played and where they were distributing the ball, but what did you guys do to really take away some of those assist opportunities from them?
Oh, geez. You know, I like to think that, you know, I got to go back and pour through the tape, but, you know, basketball's a make-or-miss game sometime. I mean, obviously their assist total would be a little bit higher if, you know, if some of their shots would have fallen. But, you know, I think our guys, for the most part, were on it. When we had I forget what the lead was. It was 16, 17, 18 points. And then there was a segment for about 4 or 5 minutes when the truths of our system we weren't adhering to. It was just, you know, caught up in the noise and the crowd and the circumstance of that moment. And it was kind of, I looked out there and I told him at the timeout, I could squint my eyes and I could just see open gym. Open gym defense for about 2 or 3 possessions, where whether guys were fatigued, guys were tired. We talk about SVP all the time, stance, vision, positioning. And I just, you know, we got a veteran team, and they fix things before I get in the huddle, but I told those guys, like, we got to ramp up our defense. We're not playing with enough intensity, enough passion. Our pick-and-roll coverage is getting exploited. They had made, like, I think they made 4 threes and scored 12 points off threes. But our guys locked back in. You know, down the stretch, we didn't shoot it well from the free throw line, but we continued to go down at the other end and not let that affect our defense. We were able to get stops and rebounds and close out the game.
Mark Blankenbaker, ESPN. You mentioned the chaos in the locker room after the game. How important it is to kind of celebrate those big moments with your team, with your guys? And then what do you call the dance that we have seen some of the video of? Do you have a name for that?
You guys saw that?
Already, it's already out, yeah.
Damn. It's ugly. I constantly embarrass my kids. My daughters are going to be appalled. And we have fun, man. We have joy in what we do. And listen, we celebrate in that locker room, and that was a fun celebration. We celebrate when we beat South Carolina State. We work really stinking hard. Every team around the country does. But, like, the demands we put on our guys, the expectations, the standard that we hold them to, the amount of preparation and the excellence that we want them to have, like, you got to enjoy the wins. You just have to. You can't be relieved that you didn't lose. You have to enjoy the wins. Be honest with you, that one was a little bit better and bigger than most of them, but it doesn't matter if it's an exhibition game against Bucknell. We're going to be fired up and we're going to enjoy the wins. Then we turn the page, we get up the next day, and we move on to the next one.
Yeah, I noticed you had some tape or a bandage on your finger. I was just wondering what happened there. Was that happen during the celebration?
Do I have to tell? I can't believe you guys got the dance video. I forget there's cameras in there. I did like the tick from like 1985. So I don't know if it's broken, but I dislocated my finger, and it was like that way. It was 90 degrees. I looked down and I'm like, oh. And Doc was right there, and he came over and he like yanked that sucker back in place. So that's why I tell our guys all the time, rub a little dirt on it. When's practice? Let's go.
Was that in the game? Just like mid?
No. So we go in the practice gym, and all the coaches are in there, and that's where we meet before we go in and see the team, and we hug it out, and we do all that stuff all the time. Well, as soon as I walked in, those guys just start running at me and chasing me. So, like, I was doing the, when a guy gets a walk-off home run sometime and everybody mobs him and he just runs around the field. So I'm like, I can move now. I'm 50, but I got some wheels. So there's a curtain that separates the two halves of the court in the practice gym over there. So I try to like bust through when my finger gets stinking caught on something and it like yanks it sideways. And I look down, I'm like, oh. There was so much adrenaline going on in my body right now. I didn't feel anything when Doc was pulling that thing. I'll tell you that.
Back to basketball, I guess. Sananda Fruit.
Yeah, what are we doing?
I hate to. This is good stuff. Sananda Fruit, his game tonight, big rebounds, good defensively, got you some stuff inside.
Sananda was really good. Yeah. Just getting more comfortable. It's a new style of basketball than what he's used to. It's a new system. It's different than what he was a part of, but moved from another part of the world, new culture, new food, new friends, no family. It just takes a little bit of time for those guys to adjust. But, man, he was really good. Rebounded the ball for us. He was good in the pick and roll. He was finishing around the rim. Thought he was really, really good.
Knowlton Alfred, the Louisville Cardinal. We can tell you're a fun and happy guy, so I get the question, what's your favorite post-game meal? Is it today, Tuesday, Taco Tuesday? What's your favorite post-game meal?
Whatever Lisa Kelsey's making. She's one of the best cooks in America. So whatever she's got, I'm down for it.
That's fantastic.
Jacob Lane, State of Louisville. It's been a very emotional couple of weeks here in Louisville with the plane crash. You've ingrained yourself in cities everywhere you've gone. Just tell me about what this means for the city to win this game right now, and what you would tell folks who are watching this who have been through some of the toughest times of their life.
I'm an all-in guy. Like the places that I've been, Rock Hill, South Carolina, I went all in. I was a true Rock Hillian. When I went to Charleston, I was all in. It was our city, and that was home, and that's where I was raising my kids. And the Lord blessed me with the opportunity to come be the head coach at the University of Louisville, one of the most storied programs ever, and to live in this town, and I'm all in. I love this place. It's special. It's a special community. It's family. It's blue collar. It's tough. It's where it's like where I was raised. And when tragedies happen, when bad things happen, and that's as bad as it gets. I mean, it was one of the worst things that's ever happened to this city. And you see how people come together. It galvanizes the city. You feel the love. You feel the support. And we rally. We rally behind those people that have suffered so much loss. And then you beat Kentucky. They really like that, too, around here. I've been here for a year and a half. Everywhere I go, hey, Coach Kelsey, hey, good luck this year. Beat Kentucky. Everybody. So it's awesome to see the Yum Center that way, to feel the emotion in the building, and then just to know that after a really tough couple weeks, this puts a smile on the faces of people in this city, and it's a lot of feel-good. So just the next step in the momentum of what we're trying to build here, but we're proud and fortunate to get the win tonight.
Coach, you touched on it for a second, but, Kentucky came into this game, and a lot of people talked about their physicality, their big men inside. That would be something that would lead them. You talked about Sananda a little bit. He seemed like he was the best big man on the court, and even behind him, Ali Khalifa had some big moments, a couple of nice putbacks, 4 assists, no turnovers, 3 steals. Just kind of talk about what that says about the post guys in the Louisville program.
There was a lot of good post guys on the floor today. They have really good ones, and we have really good ones. And those guys stepped up when we need them the most. They were big. I've been asked a lot of questions in post-game interviews, like, tell me about the bigs, get more production from the bigs. What I was telling you guys is the efficiency, the things that they were doing that relates to winning maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet. I talked about the one day Sananda had like 2 field goal attempts, but he was like the second most efficient guy in our efficiency standards, but that takes everything into account. Defensive grading, defensive responsibility, pick and roll coverage, screen everything. So those guys do so much, and they were big for us tonight.
Pat, since you came to our state, I've heard you say that in the context of this rivalry that you need to do your part, that Louisville needs to pull its weight in the rivalry. So in that context, what did you accomplish tonight?
Yeah, last year I said that. I think I said it before the game, and then I said it in the press conference after the game because I meant it. Maybe it put a little bit more pressure on us. I don't know, but the late, great Skip Prosser, who was the head coach at Xavier, and he was my college coach, and when he got the job at Xavier, the Cincinnati-Xavier rivalry had gone in Cincinnati's favor for quite a bit, and Coach made the comment, it ceases to be a rivalry unless you win one every once in a while. And I said that because I mean it, and and we were able to get one tonight, so it feels good.
Ryan and Michael combined for 53 points. Just what do you think that backcourt sends a message to defenses around the country?
Yeah, I mean we have good players and we have really good guards, and those guys were unbelievable tonight. Michael was special. Ryan was huge for us. That game against Kansas, Michael put so much pressure on himself, and I just love how he's responded since then. Not that he didn't have a certain focus about him, because he's always focused. He always works hard. He's mature beyond his years, but he's been a monster ever since that game, and my goodness, was he special tonight. And then, like, Ryan he's a winner. Ryan, you look at all the places he's been at Indiana State, and when he was at Xavier. Like, I remember seeing Sean Miller this summer, and he said, how's Ryan doing? I said, gosh darn, he is a special young man. He goes, he never changes. He never changes. It doesn't matter if the chips are down. It doesn't matter if he is the same all the time. And he's big in big moments. He makes big shots. I mean, those two guys were a huge tandem tonight. But Isaac McNeely's a special perimeter player. Adrian Woolley, he's another guy that's getting more and more comfortable, and I see flashes in practice, and you see some of the things that he's capable of. We'll have some games where I'm sitting in here, and I'm talking about how special those guys were. But those two guys carried us, and they were really good tonight.
Coach, you saw Donovan Mitchell out there, and obviously he has a significant influence in this group. He was coaching up Michael out there. I guess from your perspective, how influential and important to this program has he been, and for your squad in particular, to have him out there today? I mean, what is that like for you as a coach?
Is that unbelievable? In the middle of the NBA season, he said he's never done this before. I mean, he had a gut-wrenching buzzer beater that he lost last night, and he's got another game tomorrow down in Miami. He takes a private jet here, lands, come to the game, and he's going right back to be with his team. That's how much that dude loves Louisville. That's how much he loves Louisville. And Louisville loves him. And it meant a lot to me. I told him. I said, that's one of the most special things I've ever seen. I mean, a guy's busy as it is, his stature, everything he's got going on in his life. He's the poster child for a Louisville Cardinal for sure.
Hey, Coach, just talk to us about Javon Hadley's impact on the game, just on both ends of the floor, and how important his versatility is to this team.
Yeah, Javon, just that jack of all trades, guards anybody you want him to guard, lunch pail, tough, does all the dirty work, makes big plays when you need him to make big plays. Javon's a big part of our team and a heck of a leader.
Yeah, I was just curious about Kaysen playing only 2 minutes tonight there in the first half. Was it something based on how he was feeling, or just kind of
Yeah,
at the state of
it's
the
just
game?
going to take a little bit of time for him to get back in the flow, right? I mean, Kaysen's going to be huge for us. He's going to be a big, big part of a special season, and we're really, really going to need him. Just playing his first game the other night and getting back in the rhythm, getting back in the rotation. Trust me when I tell you, he is going to be a major, major, major part of this team.